On a stormy night, with rain pelting down and winds howling through the quiet suburban streets, Dr. Lam Min was preparing to close his small veterinary clinic when his phone rang urgently. On the other end of the line, Tuan, a local resident with a trembling voice, reported that he had discovered a strange, weak puppy wandering along a secluded forest trail near the outskirts of town. Min rushed out into the dark, rain-soaked night, his mind racing with concern and curiosity. When he arrived at the scene, the creature that lay before him was unlike any he had ever seen. Its skin was pale and patchy, almost as if it had been shorn of its fur, and its large, glistening eyes seemed to hold a secret too profound for its tender age. In that moment, Min sensed that there was more to this tiny animal than met the eye, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Back at the clinic, Min gently wrapped the fragile creature in a warm blanket and began a thorough examination with the help of his dedicated assistant Lon. The initial assessment revealed an animal that appeared to have endured harsh ordeals. Its body bore several unusual scars, and parts of its coat were missing while other areas were covered with fine, uneven hair. The creature's features were oddly mismatched. Its eyes were disproportionately large, giving it a haunting, almost otherworldly gaze, and its physique hinted at both vulnerability and a latent wildness. Despite these perplexing details, Min's compassion overrode his reservations. He provided immediate medical care, stabilizing its condition and preparing to conduct further tests that might shed light on its true identity. Once the creature was stable, Min collected blood and tissue samples to send for DNA analysis at a renowned laboratory. While awaiting the results, he and Lon pored over records and scientific references, trying to piece together clues that could explain the animal's unusual appearance. Early genetic tests suggested that the creature did not fit neatly into the category of a domestic dog. Instead, its DNA exhibited markers that were characteristic of wild animals. Rumors began to swirl on local social media and in community discussions. Some speculated that this might be the result of a mysterious, unauthorized experiment, while others theorized that the animal could be a wild canid, a rare blend of dog and something more feral. The uncertainty and growing public intrigue only deepened the enigma, making the case one that Min felt compelled to pursue with every ounce of his professional dedication. Days later, Min received a call with crucial updates. A retired military scientist who had once worked at a classified research facility had come forward with astonishing information. According to this informant, there had been clandestine experiments aimed at creating hybrid animals by combining the genetic traits of domestic dogs with those of wild wolves. The informant hinted that the creature in Min's care might be a product of such a secret project. When the final, more comprehensive DNA test results arrived, the evidence was undeniable. The animal's genetic makeup was a unique blend of domestic dog and wild wolf traits. This revelation transformed the creature's identity completely. No longer could it be seen as a mere stray or a misfit pet. It was, in fact, a living testament to the complex and often murky boundary between domestication and the wild. Faced with this newfound knowledge, Min and Lon found themselves at a moral crossroads. They grappled with the intense dilemma of whether to keep nurturing this extraordinary creature as one of their own or to honor its innate wild instincts by returning it to nature. Countless hours were spent in heartfelt discussions, weighing the benefits of human care against the importance of preserving the animal's natural behavior. Seeking further guidance, Min consulted with a respected wildlife biologist and an ethics expert, both of whom stressed that an animal with such a hybrid nature would thrive best in an environment that mirrored its inherent instincts. Ultimately, with heavy hearts but resolute determination, the decision was made to transfer the animal, now affectionately nicknamed Young Wolf, to a specialized wildlife rehabilitation center where it could relearn to live freely in the wild. At the rehabilitation center, the journey toward recovery was arduous. In the early days, Young Wolf struggled to adjust. Its body, weakened by years of hardship, fought against the pull of domestication. Yet, under the expert care of seasoned wildlife rehabilitators, and with a carefully planned diet designed to nourish its regeneration, the creature began to show signs of a remarkable transformation. Slowly, it rediscovered the latent instincts that had been dormant under its previous state of vulnerability. It practiced the art of hunting, learned to move stealthily, and gradually established connections with other wild animals at the center. Min and Lon visited frequently, each encounter filled with bittersweet emotion as they watched the once frail animal morph into a creature embodying the wild's fierce elegance. When the time came for the final farewell, the clinic staff and the rehabilitators gathered in a quiet ceremony, acknowledging the end of an era and the beginning of a new life for Young Wolf. Tears mixed with smiles as Min and Lon bid farewell, confident that the creature was finally where it truly belonged. A year later, Min returned to the rehabilitation center for a final visit. The landscape had changed with the seasons, and so had young Wolf. Now a thriving, robust creature, it roamed freely in its restored habitat, embodying the raw power and beauty of the wild. The transformation was evident. No longer did it display the timid features of the past. Instead, it moved with a confident grace among a pack of wolves, its eyes reflecting the wisdom and resilience of a life reclaimed. Min stood at a distance, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment and closure. The journey had been one of emotional turmoil, scientific discovery, and ultimately redemption. In witnessing young Wolf fully embrace its destiny, Min was reminded that, while human compassion can mend a broken spirit, it is nature's indomitable will that ultimately guides life toward its rightful course. The story closed on a hopeful note, a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between human intervention and the untamed force of nature. After retrieving the mysterious creature from the rain-soaked trail, Dr. Lam Min hurried back to his modest veterinary clinic, where every corner seemed to echo the urgency of the situation. The clinic's warm interior provided a stark contrast to the harsh, turbulent night outside, and Min wasted no time in laying out a clean examination table. With gentle hands and a keen eye, he carefully placed the fragile animal on the table, its body shivering from both the cold and the ordeal it had just endured. Min's trusted assistant, Lon, joined him promptly, her expression a mixture of concern and curiosity as she observed the creature's unusual features. They noted that the animal's coat was patchy and uneven, with areas where fur was conspicuously absent, leaving behind pale, almost translucent skin. A closer look revealed several faint scars across its body, hinting at a history of rough encounters or perhaps a struggle for survival in the wild. The creature's eyes, remarkably large and deeply expressive, flickered with a mix of fear and an inexplicable wild intensity, as if it carried the untold story of its origins within those soulful orbs. As Min began the initial treatment, he worked meticulously, cleaning wounds, administering fluids, and carefully monitoring its vital signs. The creature's heartbeat was rapid but steady, a delicate rhythm that belied its overall frailty. Despite its apparent vulnerability, there was an undeniable strength in the way it clutched to life, as though it was silently urging them to uncover the truth behind its peculiar existence. Lon assisted by gathering all necessary tools and recording every detail, her experienced hands moving with precision as she helped Min stabilize the animal. Throughout the treatment, an undercurrent of mystery pervaded the room. Every observation, whether it was the irregular patchwork of its fur, the mysterious scars, or the creature's almost human-like sensitivity to its surroundings, hinted at a backstory far more complex than that of a simple stray. Min's mind raced with questions. Had this creature once roamed freely in the wilderness, or was it perhaps a product of human intervention gone awry? Despite the uncertainties, one thing was clear. The animal was in desperate need of care, and nothing would stop Min and Lon from providing the best treatment possible. Hours passed as they worked diligently through the night, documenting every minute detail and preparing the creature for further examinations. The initial treatment session was as much about stabilizing its immediate condition as it was about gathering clues that might one day solve the mystery of its origins. In that quiet, candlelit room of the clinic, amidst the soft hum of medical equipment and the steady drip of a saline solution, the journey toward unraveling the creature's secret had only just begun. Once the creature had been stabilized and its immediate wounds tended to, Dr. Lam Min knew that there was more to uncover than just the visible scars and patchy fur. With cautious determination, he collected several samples, blood, skin, and even a few hair follicles from the fragile animal. These samples were carefully sealed and labeled before being sent off to a prestigious genetic laboratory known for its cutting-edge research in wildlife and domestic species. In the quiet hours that followed, as the rain had finally subsided and the first light of dawn began to break through the stormy sky, Min and his assistant Lon sat together in the dimly lit clinic. They pored over textbooks and recent research articles, trying to piece together a plausible explanation for the creature's bizarre combination of traits. Early genetic markers hinted that this animal was not a typical stray dog. Rather, it carried a mosaic of DNA segments that were unexpectedly similar to those found in wild canids. The possibility that it might be a hybrid, or even the result of some obscure natural anomaly, sparked a flurry of questions in Min's mind. As days turned into nights, the laboratory began to deliver preliminary results. The initial reports were perplexing, a genetic makeup that did not conform neatly to the well-documented profiles of domestic dogs. Certain sequences pointed unmistakably towards wild species, suggesting that the creature's ancestry might include elements of both the domestic and the untamed. This revelation deepened the mystery, as it called into question the very nature of its origins. Could it be that this animal was a natural bridge between the world of pets and the realm of wild predators? Or was there an even more complex story hidden within its cells? Meanwhile, news of the unusual case began to ripple through local communities and online forums. Rumors and theories spread like wildfire. Some speculated that the animal might be a victim of an unregulated breeding experiment, a secret attempt to merge the gentleness of a pet with the resilience of a wild animal. Others were convinced that it was simply a rare genetic twist, a natural aberration that had managed to survive against all odds. Social media posts and local news snippets only added to the growing intrigue, and soon Min found himself fielding inquiries from curious citizens and skeptical experts alike. In the midst of these swirling speculations, Min remained focused on his commitment to scientific inquiry. He requested additional, more sophisticated tests from a renowned research center, one that specialized in genetic anomalies and wildlife biology. This next phase of investigation promised to delve deeper, potentially unlocking the true identity of the creature and its place in the natural order. Every minute detail was scrutinized, from the peculiar structure of its bone framework to the subtle variations in its fur pigmentation, all of which seemed to whisper secrets of an extraordinary lineage. While the comprehensive tests were underway, Min and Lon continued to document every observation meticulously. They recorded behavioral nuances during the creature's recuperation, moments when its eyes would glaze over as if recalling distant, primal memories, or when it would twitch in response to unseen stimuli. These small yet significant details reinforced the notion that the animal was more than just a mishap of nature. It was a living repository of genetic history, straddling the delicate boundary between civilization and the wild. As the awaited results finally began to arrive, each report added another layer of complexity to the puzzle. The definitive tests confirmed that the creature's DNA was indeed a unique amalgamation, one that bore unmistakable traces of both domestic canine and wild canid ancestries. This unexpected blend not only explained its unusual physical characteristics, but also raised profound questions about the interaction between human intervention and natural evolution. The discovery sent shockwaves through Min's scientific community and redefined the case from a simple rescue operation to a groundbreaking study of genetic interplay. In this period of deep investigation, the clinic transformed into a temporary hub of research, where every new finding opened up fresh avenues of inquiry. Min realized that beyond the immediate need to heal, there was an opportunity to contribute valuable insights into the evolution of hybrid species and the unforeseen consequences of crossing nature's boundaries. The animal, now the focal point of a larger scientific and ethical debate, was no longer just a patient. It had become a living testament to the complex dance between nature and nurture. Thus, in the stillness of that long contemplative period, as Min and Lon awaited further instructions from the research center, the mystery of the creature grew ever more profound. Every test result, every whispered rumor, and every anxious inquiry served as a reminder that nature often harbors secrets far beyond the reach of conventional understanding, inviting those who seek the truth to look deeper into the fabric of life itself. After several tense days of waiting and painstaking analysis, the moment of revelation finally arrived. One humid afternoon, as the clinic bathed in a soft, diffused light, Min received an unexpected call from an old acquaintance, a retired military scientist who had once been involved in top-secret research. The scientist, his voice low and measured, revealed that he had come across classified information hinting at covert experiments designed to blend the traits of domestic animals with those of their wild counterparts. He explained that under the guise of routine veterinary research, some clandestine projects had been experimenting with genetic engineering, aiming to create hybrids that possessed both the loyalty of a pet and the resilience of a wild creature. This information hit Min like a bolt of lightning, reshaping his understanding of the mysterious animal he had rescued. The scientist went on to detail how, in a series of secret trials, a handful of animals had been subjected to controlled genetic alterations, attempts to enhance their survival capabilities in harsh environments while maintaining the ability to bond with humans. The notion was both revolutionary and deeply unsettling. Min's mind raced as he connected the dots between these covert experiments and the unique genetic markers revealed by the laboratory tests. Shortly thereafter, the final comprehensive DNA analysis report arrived from the prestigious research center Min had sent the samples to. The report was unequivocal. The creature's genome was a sophisticated mosaic, containing clear segments of both domestic dog and wild canid DNA, particularly that of a wolf. The precise blend was unlike any naturally occurring animal documented before. The laboratory scientists speculated that the creature was not merely a natural aberration, but rather the unintended, and possibly deliberate, result of an experimental breeding program that had gone awry. Min found himself at the crossroads of science and ethics. On one hand, the evidence supported the scientists' claim that secret genetic experiments were taking place, and on the other, it revealed the heartbreaking reality that this living being was a product of human intervention in nature. The animal was not just a stray caught in a storm. It was a living testament to the intersection of innovation and irresponsibility. The report described the animal's genetic profile in meticulous detail, highlighting the unusual characteristics that had manifested physically. Its oversized eyes that conveyed both vulnerability and wild intelligence, its patchy coat that fluctuated between the softness of a pet and the rugged texture of a wild creature, and its lean, wiry frame that hinted at agility honed for survival. The news rippled beyond the confines of the clinic. Local media caught wind of the story, and soon it became a topic of heated debate among scientists, ethicists, and the public alike. Some argue that the creature was a miracle of modern science, an evolutionary bridge that could provide insights into genetic adaptability and the consequences of tampering with nature. Others decried the experiment as a reckless manipulation of life, a violation of natural order that endangered the sanctity of wildlife and human responsibility. For Min, the revelation was both a moment of professional vindication and a profound moral quandary. Every observation he had made, every unusual trait he had recorded, now converged to tell a story of human ambition interfering with nature's delicate balance. The laboratory results not only confirmed his earlier suspicions, but also opened a Pandora's box of questions. Who authorized such experiments? What were the intended outcomes? And what had gone wrong? And most importantly, what was the future of this extraordinary animal now that its origins were laid bare? In the quiet aftermath of the revelation, Min sat alone in his office, the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. The creature, now unequivocally identified as a hybrid with both domestic and wild ancestry, was no longer just a patient in need of care. It had become a symbol of the unforeseen consequences of scientific overreach. As he reviewed the detailed genetic charts and expert opinions, Min realized that his role extended beyond veterinary care. He had become a reluctant guardian of a living paradox, one that encapsulated the promise and peril of human curiosity. The shocking truth had transformed the case into something far greater than a simple rescue mission. It now stood at the confluence of science, ethics, and nature itself, a narrative that demanded not only answers but a rethinking of how humanity interacted with the world around it. As Min contemplated the next steps, he knew that the decision he was about to make would not only determine the fate of this one creature, but could also set a precedent for how such cases were handled in the future. The truth had been uncovered, and with it came a profound responsibility to honor both the animal's innate wild spirit and the ethical boundaries of scientific intervention. In the wake of the startling genetic revelations, Dr. Lam Min found himself caught in an emotional and ethical maelstrom. The creature, now undeniably a hybrid born of both domestic affection and wild ancestry, presented a dilemma that weighed heavily on his conscience. As he sat in his office, the softness of the night outside mingling with a quiet rustle of papers and test results, Min pondered the future of the animal he had grown so attached to. His heart ached with the thought of denying this creature the care it desperately needed, yet his scientific mind recognized that its well-being lay in the restoration of its natural instincts. The clinic's walls, once a sanctuary of healing, now served as a silent witness to a clash between human compassion and the inexorable call of nature. Min's trusted assistant Lon had been by his side throughout the entire ordeal, and together they deliberated the best course of action. Late into the night, their discussions were punctuated by moments of shared sorrow and understanding. Lon recalled the animal's timid, almost pleading eyes during treatment, while Min recounted its fleeting moments of wild alertness that hinted at a spirit yearning for freedom. After hours of introspection and debate, Min reached out to a well-respected wildlife biologist and an ethics expert, both of whom had faced similar conundrums in their work with rewilding and conservation. The biologist emphasized that an animal with such a unique genetic blend could not thrive in an environment of complete domestication. Its instincts, honed over generations, demanded the challenge and freedom of the wild, a space where it could rediscover the natural behaviors that defined its dual heritage. The ethics expert, meanwhile, spoke of the sanctity of nature and the responsibility that came with human intervention. They both argued that while Min's compassion was admirable, true healing for the creature would only come from embracing its inherent wildness. Torn between his deep-seated need to protect and his commitment to nature's integrity, Min eventually came to a heart-rending decision. The creature, affectionately nicknamed Young Wolf by both him and Lon, will be transferred to a specialized wildlife rehabilitation center. This center, known for its meticulous approach to rewilding rescued animals, promised an environment where Young Wolf could relearn the instincts that had been dulled by prolonged human care. The decision, though filled with a poignant sadness, was rooted in the belief that the animal's destiny was not to be confined within the sterile walls of a clinic, but to roam freely among its kin in the untamed wilderness. In the days that followed, Min and Lon prepared Young Wolf for its new journey. They documented every behavioral trait, every subtle gesture that might serve as a reminder of the creature's origins and the hope of its future. With a final, emotionally charged farewell, they arranged for its transfer to the rehabilitation center. On the day of the move, the atmosphere was heavy with mixed emotions, relief intermingled with the sorrow of parting ways. Min's eyes filled with tears as he gently patted Young Wolf's head one last time, whispering promises of hope and urging it to find strength in its wild spirit. As Young Wolf was led away to begin its transformative journey, Min was left to grapple with the enormity of his choice. He understood that this decision transcended the bounds of his role as a veterinarian. It was a profound act of respect for the natural order. In letting go, he was not abandoning the creature, but rather granting it the chance to reclaim its true identity. Powerful reminder that sometimes the most compassionate act is to allow nature to take its rightful course. The weight of that decision lingered in the quiet moments that followed, a solemn vow to honor both the life he had saved and the wild destiny that awaited it. In the weeks that followed Young Wolf's transfer to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, a transformative journey unfolded that was as heart-wrenching as it was inspiring. At first, the center's environment, though designed to mimic the wild, posed significant challenges for Young Wolf. The creature, still bearing the remnants of its past life in the clinic, appeared disoriented and hesitant, as if caught between two worlds. Under the watchful eyes of dedicated wildlife rehabilitators, it spent its days in a secure enclosure that offered both shelter and a controlled taste of freedom. During the initial phase, Young Wolf struggled to adapt. Its instinctual behaviors, dulled by months of gentle human care, now had to be rediscovered. Trainers introduced gradual stimuli, rustling leaves, the distant sound of running water, and even the presence of other wild animals, to evoke the innate responses that had once defined its existence. Slowly but surely, subtle changes began to emerge. The creature's eyes, once clouded with uncertainty, began to gleam with a rekindled wild spark. It started to show interest in the natural elements around it, cautiously exploring every nook of its enclosure, as if testing its newfound boundaries. Min and Lon made regular visits to the center, each trip filled with a bittersweet mix of hope and nostalgia. They observed Young Wolf's transformation with both scientific detachment and personal emotion. It was during one of these visits that a pivotal moment occurred. While attempting to engage in a play-like chase with a fellow rehabilitant, a rescued fox, no less, the creature exhibited a burst of agility and raw power that left everyone in awe. In that moment, the dual nature of Young Wolf was fully revealed. The delicate remnants of its former vulnerability blended seamlessly with the fierce, wild instincts of a creature born to roam free. As days turned into months, the rehabilitation center became a crucible for Young Wolf's rebirth. The trainers meticulously adjusted its diet to gradually phase out human-supplied nourishment, replacing it with natural food sources that mimicked what a wild canid would hunt. This nutritional shift, coupled with regular physical training, fortified its body and awakened its latent abilities. Observations noted that Young Wolf began to move with a confident grace, its gait evolving into a fluid, almost poetic stride that spoke of years of evolutionary refinement. The emotional climax of this journey reached its peak during a quiet, golden-hued afternoon when the rehabilitation center organized a final evaluation of Young Wolf's readiness for release. Surrounded by the gentle murmur of nature and the approving nods of seasoned wildlife experts, Min, Lon, and the entire center staff gathered to witness the culmination of their collective efforts. In a ceremonial act that was as much about science as it was about the human spirit, the final assessment was carried out, tracking its movements, gauging its interactions with other animals, and testing its ability to respond to natural stimuli. The results were overwhelming. Young Wolf not only met but exceeded the criteria for a return to the wild. With the decision made, the center organized a solemn farewell. On the day of the release, The atmosphere was imbued with a mix of celebration and poignant parting. Min and Lan, along with a small group of rehabilitators, escorted young Wolf to the edge of the vast, untamed forest that bordered the center. The moment was filled with silent intensity. No words were needed as each person recognized the significance of this milestone. Min knelt beside the creature one final time, gently stroking its fur, a silent blessing and a farewell all at once. As young Wolf stepped forward, hesitated only for a moment, and then bounded into the embrace of the wild, a palpable sense of both loss and fulfillment swept over everyone present. The creature, now fully transformed, disappeared among the trees, its confident stride a testament to its reclaimed identity. Min and Lon stood there for a long while, watching until the last glimpse of movement vanished into the dense foliage. They knew that their journey with young Wolf had come to a close, but also that the impact of this extraordinary transformation would resonate far beyond the confines of the rehabilitation center. In that bittersweet farewell, the intertwining themes of hope, resilience, and the inherent power of nature were laid bare. Young Wolf's metamorphosis had been a profound reminder that while human intervention can offer a second chance at life, true freedom and strength are found only when one embraces the wild course of destiny. The farewell was not an end, but rather a celebration of the creature's enduring spirit, a spirit that would now forever roam the untamed wilderness as a living embodiment of nature's limitless potential. A full year had passed since the emotional farewell at the rehabilitation center, and the landscape had undergone its own quiet transformation as the seasons shifted from the vibrant greens of spring to the mellow golds of autumn. Dr. Lam Min returned to the center on a crisp, clear morning, his heart brimming with both anticipation and reflective nostalgia. The center, now quieter and more serene, had become a haven for wild spirits to rediscover their roots. As Min approached the familiar clearing, he noticed subtle changes in the environment. New growth emerging along the forest edge, the gentle hum of nature awakening in the cool air, and an unmistakable feeling that something extraordinary was unfolding. In the distance, moving with the confident, fluid gait of a creature fully reclaimed by nature, was young Wolf. No longer the timid, fragile animal he had once nurtured, young Wolf now exuded an air of commanding presence. Its coat, once patchy and uncertain, had grown thicker and shimmered with a healthy luster that spoke of vitality and resilience. The creature moved with an effortless grace, each step a declaration of independence as it navigated the rugged terrain with ease and certainty. Min watched as young Wolf joined a pack of wild canids, seamlessly integrating into their social fabric, a living testament to the success of the rewilding process. As Min observed from a respectful distance, he recalled the tumultuous journey that had led to this moment. The early nights of desperate rescue, the painstaking treatments in the clinic, the anxious days of genetic tests and whispered rumors, and finally, the bittersweet decision to set the creature free. All these memories converged in his mind. The transformation was not just physical. It was a profound rebirth of spirit. Young Wolf's eyes, now sharp and observant, carried the depth of experiences beyond what words could capture. They held a quiet wisdom, a synthesis of the care it once received and the innate wild instincts that had been reawakened. The pack moved gracefully through the forest, and Min noticed that young Wolf's interactions with its new companions were natural and instinctive. It led the group in playful chases, communicated through subtle body language, and even displayed moments of tender camaraderie with the other wild animals. In that dynamic interplay of life, Min saw the triumph of nature reclaiming its rightful course. Here, in the raw, unbridled beauty of the wilderness, the creature had found not only survival, but a thriving community, a place where every instinct, every behavior was celebrated as part of the wild's intricate tapestry. In a quiet, reflective moment away from the immediate bustle of the pack, Min sat beneath a towering oak, the leaves whispering ancient secrets in the gentle breeze. He felt a deep connection to the cycle of life unfolding before him, a cycle marked by struggle, transformation, and ultimately renewal. The journey of young Wolf had been a powerful reminder that while human compassion can mend and nurture, it is the wild, unyielding spirit of nature that ultimately defines the essence of life. Min thought of all the challenges and ethical dilemmas he had faced, and in that serene solitude, he found solace in knowing that his decision had honored both the creature's inherent nature and the delicate balance of the ecosystem. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long golden shadows across the forest floor, Min rose from his quiet refuge with a heart full of hope and gratitude. He understood that the story of young Wolf was not just an isolated incident but a beacon of possibility, a living narrative that, underscored the importance of preserving nature's untainted course while also acknowledging the role of compassionate intervention. The creature's successful rewilding was an affirmation that true strength lies in the freedom to evolve, adapt, and live as one with the world around us. In that final resonant moment, as twilight embraced the wilderness and the distant calls of the wild echoed through the trees, Min silently vowed to continue his work as a guardian of both life and nature. The legacy of young Wolf would live on, not merely as a subject of scientific inquiry or ethical debate, but as a vibrant symbol of the enduring, transformative power of the natural world. The wilderness had welcomed back one of its own, and in doing so had reminded all who witnessed it that every life, no matter how altered or challenged, holds a potential for rebirth in the embrace of nature. In the months that followed young Wolf's triumphant return to the wild, Dr. Lam Min found himself reflecting on the profound journey that had forever altered not only the life of one extraordinary animal, but also his own understanding of nature and humanity. The story of young Wolf had quickly transcended the boundaries of a single rescue operation, evolving into a symbol of resilience and the delicate interplay between intervention and the natural order. As Min walked through the forest on a cool early morning, each step felt like a quiet homage to the wild spirit that had once been nurtured in his clinic and then set free to reclaim its destiny. Min began to document his experiences in a series of journals and research notes, capturing every detail of young Wolf's transformation and the lessons learned from the case. He interviewed the wildlife rehabilitators, engaged with local communities, and even participated in scientific symposiums where his first-hand account of the hybrid's journey sparked animated debates on genetic ethics, conservation, and the future of wildlife rehabilitation. These discussions not only enriched his understanding, but also underscored the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration in addressing the complex challenges posed by human intervention. In nature, the story resonated deeply with many, and soon local media outlets picked up on the narrative, presenting it as an emblem of hope and the possibility of redemption through nature's own means. Photographs of young Wolf, captured during its rewilding process, became poignant symbols in community exhibits and conservation campaigns. These images, of a creature both fierce and gentle, while yet marked by a past of tender care, spoke to the transformative power of nature when allowed to heal and evolve on its own terms. In time, Min found that the echoes of young Wolf's journey extended far beyond the immediate circles of veterinary and wildlife rehabilitation. Schools invited him to speak about the responsibilities of caring for the environment, while local policymakers began considering new guidelines for the ethical treatment of animals rescued from questionable genetic experiments. Min's quiet resolve and commitment to both science and compassion inspired a broader movement, one that championed the idea that true progress lies in respecting the inherent balance of life. Even as he continued his daily work at the clinic, Min could not help but feel that the legacy of young Wolf had forever changed the trajectory of his professional life. The experience had taught him that every creature, regardless of its origin, carried a story that was interwoven with the larger narrative of nature itself. It had also reinforced his belief that while human ingenuity has the power to transform life, it is the wild, indomitable essence of nature that ultimately guides each being toward its true purpose. One particularly memorable day, as the forest basked in the gentle light of a setting sun, Min encountered a new family of wild canids emerging from the underbrush. Among them, he glimpsed a striking figure, a young animal whose eyes mirrored the same fierce determination and soulful depth he had come to recognize as the legacy of young Wolf. In that silent moment, Min felt an overwhelming sense of continuity, as if the wild spirit had been passed on, inspiring a new generation to thrive in the untamed world. As seasons turned and years passed, the impact of that transformative case continued to ripple outward. Min's journals evolved into a published account that offered both scientific insights and a heartfelt narrative of hope. His story became a cornerstone for discussions about the responsibilities of human intervention, the ethical limits of scientific experimentation, and the beauty of allowing nature to reclaim its course. The legacy of young Wolf lived on not just in the pages of research papers or the records of the Rehabilitation Center, but in the collective consciousness of a community that learned to cherish the balance between care and freedom. In the twilight of his career, as Min prepared to mentor a new generation of veterinarians and conservationists, he often revisited the memory of that fateful night and the journey that followed. It served as a constant reminder that every life, no matter how altered or challenged, has an intrinsic right to evolve and flourish. The echoes of young Wolf's transformation continue to inspire not only the scientific community, but also every individual who believed in the power of compassion coupled with respect for the wild. Thus, the legacy of that once mysterious creature became a beacon, a call to honor the untamed spirit within all living things, and to embrace the natural cycles of healing and rebirth. In every rustling leaf, every distant howl in the night, and every quiet moment in the forest, there was a reminder that nature, when given the chance, will always find its way back to wholeness. As the final chapter of this extraordinary journey draws to a close, Dr. Lam Min reflects on the long and winding path that transformed a fragile, mysterious creature into a symbol of nature's resilience and the potential for renewal. The story of young Wolf has not only been a testament to the enduring power of compassion and scientific inquiry, but has also become a rallying cry for those who believe in the delicate balance between human intervention and the wild forces that shape life. From that stormy night when a desperate call led men to a vulnerable creature to the groundbreaking revelations about genetic secrets and covert experiments, every moment was imbued with challenges and hope. Min's determination to uncover the truth and provide the best care possible turned an ordinary rescue into an epic saga, one that touched the lives of countless individuals in the scientific community, local neighborhoods, and wildlife conservation circles. The journey was punctuated by moments of doubt, heart-wrenching decisions, and ultimately, the bittersweet farewell that saw young Wolf return to its rightful home in the wild. Now, as Min surveys the forest where the echoes of wild howls merge with the whispering breeze, he finds solace in knowing that this legacy extends far beyond the borders of his clinic. Young Wolf's metamorphosis is not just a singular event, but a beacon of possibility for countless other creatures caught between the realms of human care and natural destiny. It is a powerful reminder that while we may strive to help and nurture, true healing often comes when we allow nature to reclaim its course. This story, with all its twists and revelations, is more than just a narrative. It is an invitation to each of you. We encourage you to reflect on the intricate tapestry of life, where every rescued soul holds within it the promise of transformation and the eternal spirit of the wild. As you journey with us through these stories of hope, resilience, and the inexorable force of nature, we ask you to support our channel. Your encouragement, subscriptions, and sharing of our content help us continue to bring forward stories that inspire thoughtful dialogue about the interplay between humanity, science, and the environment. Join us in our mission to shine a light on the wonders of life and the mysteries that lie at the intersection of compassion and nature. By supporting our channel, you're not only investing in storytelling, but you're also championing the cause of wildlife conservation and ethical scientific practices. Every like, share, and comment is a testament to your belief that together, we can foster a deeper understanding of our natural world and the incredible stories it holds. Thank you for accompanying us on this remarkable journey. As we sign off this chapter, we look forward to bringing you more stories that celebrate the spirit of life and the transformative power of nature. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and remember, every act of kindness towards our planet echoes far beyond the moment, nurturing a legacy of hope for generations to come.